Hello Whovians and welcome to my latest Doctor Who review, where today I review Frontios, starring Peter Davison as the 5th Doctor. This is the 132nd story, and it is the third? Yeah, the third story in season 21 of Doctor Who. So, Frontios, the basic plot of this story is as follows. The Doctor, Turlough and Tegan are forced into landing on the remote planet of Frontios, a human colony where deaths go unaccounted for, under constant threat from lethal meteorite bombardments. Few of the doomed colony members realise that the ground of Frontios itself opens up and devours the unwary. Not permitted to assist, the Doctor's attempts to leave is thwarted when the unimaginable occurs. The TARDIS is destroyed. All the while burrowing undetected below the planet's crust, an alien force prepares a final and gruesome fate for all humanity. So, Frontios, this is a good story. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm not going to say this is a perfect story, but I thought it was well done. You know, it was good. I think what helps is that there is a good atmosphere about this story. It's a very sort of darkly lit story. It's very tense, and I think that's what's impressive about it. It does capture that sort of tenseness and also the sort of horrors of war. Like, you really see a lot of injuries and people are wounded and some people are struggling physically, so there's certainly a lot of weight to the story. I particularly want to give a shout out to Mark Strickson, who plays Turlough. This could be his best performance yet. He gives an amazing performance in the later half of this story when he has this panic attack. He's having this sort of PTSD because he's seen the aliens before, and Mark Strickson just goes for it. I mean, it's a very emotionally driven performance, and it's very soulful, and you feel really sorry for him. You just feel your heart breaks for the guy. I mean, he really is going through it. And I think Mark Strickson should be praised for his performance. Other performances are very good. Peter Davison, once again, very confident in his role. Again, I'm never going to like Davison as one of the greatest Doctors, but, you know, I'm growing to appreciate him slightly more since he started, and he has gotten a bit better. So, yeah, and I know there's not many more stories with him left, so yeah. Janet Fielding as Tegan. You know what I find funny about Tegan is that she can go anywhere and wear high heels, and it never seems to bother her. Surely you would think that it wouldn't be good for her feet, and also she'd trip and fall over or something by now. It's not a criticism as such, but it's just an observation, and I find it kind of amusing. But no, she's very good, and sadly we're not going to have much more of Tegan. I think the next story is her last, so let's make the most of Tegan while we still have her. We have quite a range of supporting casts. I particularly like Mr. Range, played by William Lucas. He's a very good supporting character as well. Brazen, played by Peter Gilmore, he's excellent in this story. Norna, played by Leslie Dunlop, she's very good. She's one of the central female roles. I mean, there's not many female characters in this story, which I suppose is a slight downside, but her and Tegan are the only females in the story. But as the main female of the supporting cast, she does a great job. I'm not going to go through too many more people. I'll say the guy that voices Gravis, who's the leader of the aliens, he does a good job. The voices are a little bit hard to understand at times because there's a bit of a reverb on them, so it's like the voice will play with an echo essentially, and it sometimes the diction of the voices can be a bit unclear, so that's a criticism, I would say. Tractators, the enemies, I mean, they're good. They're certainly decent, but I do think their design is a little bit silly in places. They do, like, it's guys in suits walking around, and the costumes are big. I mean, they're not badly designed, I'll give them that, but they do come across as slightly goofy. But I think they're very good villains nonetheless. They do a decent job, but they look like giant cockroaches, and that's basically how I choose to see them. But you know, they're decent. I'm surprised they never returned in the show. The production design is really good for this story. There's incredible sets. We see like a very war-torn planet, and the underground bunkers that they're in are just cluttered with everything. And I think it adds to the sort of the story as well. The fact that they've been fighting this war for quite a long time, and you really do feel sorry for them. You really do feel like Frontios, like this planet is completely desolate. They are the last people left. there is a sense of post-apocalypticness about this story, which I think is appreciated. The music score I really like. I think the music really adds to the atmosphere as well. One other criticism I have of this story, I'm sorry, I have to be honest, I'm just being honest here. I find the story to be a little talky at times. It's a bit slow in the middle, but generally it's not too bad. I think the climax is very entertaining. It's kind of sad how Brazen is unintentionally pushed into the machine by Turlo when they're trying to lure him away from it, and Brazen gives his life, which is very sad. So there was a lot of high-stakes tension in this story. I suppose in that regard the story does feel slightly humorless, but on this occasion I think it works. You know, because of the nature of the story that they're trying to tell. But, you know, Davison is very charming and he keeps it going as much as he can. Like I said, I don't think it's perfect, but I like the ideas of the story. I think it moves along very well. It's probably, well, it's a lot better than Warriors of the Sleep, I can tell you that much. So overall, I don't have too much to say about it. I think I'm going to give this story, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I don't think it's perfect, but I like it for what it is. And just to confirm, the script was written by Christopher H. Bidmead, and this is a much better script than some of his previous ones. This is one of the better stories directed by Ron Jones. Ron Jones is a very skeptical director for me. But anyway, that's my review of Frontios. Please leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of this story. And stay tuned next time when we review Resurrection of the Daleks. Woo! Which will be a very special story on a number of accounts. One, because it's Davison's one and only encounter with the Daleks, unless you want to count the 5 Doctors, but Davison didn't actually see the Dalek. That was the first Doctor. And also, it's Tegan's final story. Yes, we've come to the end with Tegan, which is very sad, because she's been in the show a long time. She's been in since the end of Tom Baker, so yeah, she nearly stayed for the entirety of Davison's era, which is interesting. And then Turlo is going to leave in the story afterwards, Planet of Fire, but then we're introduced to a new companion called Perry, but we'll get to that later. Next time, Resurrection of the Daleks. So, until then, thank you very much all for watching, and as always, I'm Mr. TARDIS11. See you soon. Bye for now.